All right. Welcome to another episode of the Club World Cup journey. We move on to Group F, and as I was saying before, another European team let themselves down. I would say. I feel like in that Dortmund versus Fluminense game, it showed, as I said before, many times that these South American teams they can show up. Um, Obviously, it was a nil-nil game. There was chances on either side. I just feel like Dortmund couldn't break down that Brazilian defensive line. Um, it was good to see Thiago Silva as well leading that line, very defensively solid. Um, Another one of those old general type centre backs alongside Ramos, showing why he was one of the best in Europe. And overall, I think Dortmund had some good pieces of play. They do have some good players. Joe Bellingham looked all right. Coming on for his debut, but I just think Dortmund just need to do a bit more going forward. I feel like they I don't know. I think they're just lacking a bit of something, a bit of oomph to their team, because I feel when it comes to getting past these low blocks, you need a bit of creativity. You need a bit of a Maverick style player, and I think that's what they were truly missing in this game to unlock that Brazilian Fluminense defense. And for me, going forward, they'll probably still make it out of this group because the other two teams aren't really on their level, and I think they should win those games. And I think they'll probably top the group just based on goal difference alone, because I think Fluminense will win their next two games as well. Because I feel like the two best teams faced each other in the group, and in the one thing I've been enjoying is that that there's been some games that have been really close, very tight, very cagey, similar to a World Cup where you expect one thing, but then the level of performance from both teams shows that maybe Dortmund aren't fully, at the races, whereas Fluminense, maybe a bit more sharp, a bit more polished with the way they're playing defensively strong, leader at the back as well, and they kept it with a nil-nil, and I think overall I expected more from some of Dortmund star players like Guirassy and the likes, and I think going forward they do need to up the tempo, up the speed of play. But overall, I think it was a very interesting game to watch. I would say the least. I think from a very tactical point and perspective, it was interesting to see um, Dortmund try and find different ways to try and get through that that Fluminense defense. And don't get me wrong, Fluminense had chances of their own as well, but I feel that with Dortmund going forward, as I said again, they just need to be a bit more oomph about what they're doing at this moment. Because for me, when it comes to them and it comes to that game, I feel like they were missing a little bit of something. They were missing a little bit of something. I can't really put my finger onto it, but I just feel like they they were missing a bit of oomph. Adeyemi was a spark, but I think they need a bit more spark to their team. The three at the back formation maybe needs to change as well. I would say maybe move to a four at the back against these teams as well. Uh, and I did like some of the attackers from both teams. I liked Arias and Everaldo. I think they were very solid on the Fluminense side. As I said, both teams got some chances. Um, and it was fun. Oh, it was funny considering the way the game went. Um, Fluminense had the better of the chances because they were a bit more a countering team. They used their pace, they kind of let little bit of extra power that they had, and they got a few chances from this and that. But overall, I feel like yeah, I think I just expected a bit more from Dortmund and Fluminense. For me personally, I feel like was a team that I don't know. For me, when it comes to this, I think Dortmund is in that second group of teams, when that 5 to 10 group in terms of favourites. I don't think they're in the top five. I don't think with this performance it put a marker down a statement showing that they're they're in it to win it. But you never know. When it comes to these World Cup formats, you may start slow and then you kind of pick up over time. And I think that's what they need to do. They need to gain some confidence from these next two games against the other two teams, and they need to have big wins as well. I really do believe that. And as for the other game, Malam- Mamelodi Sundowns. No, I need to get this team correct. The South African team versus Ulsan HD. For me, when it came to this game, I just think the South African team had just a bit more quality going forward. They got their first goal, which was lovely. They even had the second. I think is ruled out, but yeah, I just think they just were just overall just slightly the better team. Um, they had good patterns of play. They played really good football. I really enjoyed what they were trying to do. They were very quick, zippy with it, and, and they were one of the more exciting teams to watch. I think for me, it'll be really interesting to see them against tough oppositions. How if they change their style, if they go into a more defensive shell, because I think they did really try and attack as well. Obviously towards the end, Olsen had a couple chances. They kind of grew into the game over time, and but the thing about that is when once you've conceded and you're trying to fight back, it's very difficult when once a team is trying to protect a lead for you to grow back late in the game. I think if they started their cut that kind of comeback, their kind of renaissance in as a team earlier in the second half, maybe they could have got something from the game. Maybe they could have got a goal back. Um, but for them, really, they were just lacking that final edge towards the end as well. So yeah, I really liked what I saw from the Sundowns. I think it'll be interesting to see them against Fluminense at Dortmund, as I said, and to see if they're gonna be a more defensive style team and see what the kind of matchups that can come out of this group. Because if they can give a good account of themselves, they have a chance of getting out the group, and that's all you really want as one of the weaker teams in the group, just to be given a chance. And as I said, group E and this group F, there's possibilities that the European side in Dortmund might not make it out. And for me, it's very interesting to see that there are groups like this. Obviously, those detractors from the tournament will say it's a bad thing. For me, I think it's a good thing. I think it's good to see these other teams and seeing teams that I haven't heard. When it comes to like South African, I've heard of the Kaiser Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, but Sundowns are a team that I've really heard of. So seeing them play, seeing the style that they play, it shows you that you can't underestimate any team really wherever they come from. And I really like the fact that they play the right way. So it'll be very interesting the upcoming fixtures in terms of this group and what's gonna happen in the end. Is Dortmund gonna make that step up to win the next couple games, or are they gonna get shocked again? Are they gonna drop more points? And if they do, will they make it out of this group? And that's the big thing for me. Is there's three teams fighting for those top two spots, which is good to see. But yeah, there's not much really more I can say on this group in particular. As I said, Dortmund need to step up their piece. Loving what the Sundowns is doing. Good to see Thiago Silva back. As always, as a Chelsea fan, it's always good to see, my old players come back as well, and a legend of the game as well, and to show once again the level of a defender that he is. Outside of that, not much else. Obviously, group A B C D E F G H. I think G H. I think there's H. Coming up today as well. Obviously, Man City just played and other teams are playing. So interesting to see what happens with the rest of these groups as well. And yeah, that is me. That's me. Group F. Loving what's the Melody Sundowns are doing. They're bringing the sunshine to the tournament, and I'm loving it. But anyway, this has been Group F Club World Cup journey. Peace, and I'm out.